Hi everybody and welcome back to That's My Dog. Now, not so much of a fun video for you guys this week, but definitely one that I thought was very important to share with you guys, and that is signs of a dying dog. Today we're going to be talking about 5 different signs that you guys can look out for if you are worried about your dog's health in any way. Now, to make this video not so sad in the comments, do let me know down below, what was it like the first day you got your dog? When you went to go and pick them up from somebody's house or from the shelter or wherever you got your dog? Let me know down below. Let me know the story of when you went to go and collect your dog and saw your dog for the very first time in the comments. But let's just get started with today's video. Now, as we all know, it is the hardest thing to come to terms with when your dog has come to their end of life. But today we're going to be talking about 5 different things you guys might want to look out for if you are worried about your dog's health. Now, also, before I do get started, I want to make this perfectly clear that if your dog shows any of these signs, it doesn't immediately think they are dying. Don't worry, because I know when I read this list, I was a bit, Milo, are you okay? But honestly, some of these things can just be something that your dog experiences throughout their life, so don't completely jump to that. If you do have any concerns or worries, definitely do contact your vet, especially if you have multiple of these symptoms. Definitely do get in contact with them and mention it and see what they say is best for you to do with your dog. So the first thing you might want to look out for is if your dog has a loss of appetite. Obviously, most dogs absolutely love food, so when they sort of are off their food or they don't want to eat as much, it can actually be a sign that they aren't wanting to get the energy and they don't have the energy to even eat anymore, as this will just show that your dog is becoming weaker and weaker if they aren't consuming enough food. Now, number 2 is that your dog might become a little bit lethargic. What this means is they are just a bit slower, they are just a bit more tired, they don't have the energy to do as much anymore, and they are just in general looking a little bit sick. They're not wanting to do as much. Are you having a bit of a sleep? Now, as we all know, with humans as well, as you get older, you do have less energy and you have less movement to have in your body, so it's not necessarily something to immediately worry about. But if your dog is becoming a bit lethargic, if they aren't getting excited by their favourite toy anymore, this might be a cause for concern. Now, number 3 is if your dog untimely vomits. This basically means if they haven't necessarily had a lot to eat, or they aren't really looking ill and all of a sudden they're being sick, or any sort of thing like that. Especially if your dog is sort of laying in bed and being sick, a lot of dogs will try and get outside, or they'll try and do it something where they can hide, whereas if they are just doing it in their bed and they're not even moving to even vomit, this can be a very key sign of a dying dog. This obviously will indicate that your dog has a virus, an infection, they are just have some sort of sickness. So don't immediately worry, because I know Milo, when he has had a bug, he will just be sick anywhere. If you are worried about your dog, just like I say, get in contact with the vet. This is normally because your dog's digestive system is shutting down on them, which is very sad. Now, number 4 is that your dog might have a loss of coordination. Obviously, a lot of dogs can sense where everything is around them, but if they suddenly have that loss of coordination, this can be a very key indication that they aren't very well at the moment. Obviously, don't immediately think if your dog is a clumsy dog, they are in the stages of getting unwell, because a lot of the time dogs can just be clumsy sometimes. I mean, Milo's ran into glass doors plenty of times just because he is not very coordinated at that point. But yeah, don't immediately worry about that, but it is definitely something to think about if your dog hasn't got the greatest coordination. I also want to make this clear as well, that this is if these things happen all of a sudden. It's not if these things have been going on for a while, because your dog might just be going through a stage. If this is sort of a sudden thing that you notice a change in your dog, that's when you might want to become concerned. And then the last one, which is number 5, is probably the most obvious, and that is when your dog has difficulty breathing. Obviously, if your dog has loss of breath or they are not able to breathe as much, it basically can mean that their heart is shutting down and they might be having heart failure. This is something that you'd probably be able to see it straight away if you did notice a difference with your dog, which is very sad, but definitely something to be aware of. But that is it for this week's video. I hope you learned a little bit more about what sort of things you can look out for, which is a very sad topic, but something I'm sure you guys will understand I needed to put out there. Thank you all so much for watching. Like I said, don't forget to let me know down below in the comments. Try and brighten this video up a little tiny bit by letting me know, what was it like the first day you got your dog? When you picked them up, and you brought them home. What was that like? How did it feel? What were they like? Also, don't forget to follow us over on our Instagram, our Facebook, and also our Twitter as well. We are all at Relax My Dog, so don't forget to follow us over there if you'd like to see more doggy pictures and things like that. Don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. You can also check out our previous video, which is all the way on the other side of the screen if you want to learn more about your dog. And you can also subscribe by clicking this little button in the middle here. That'll just make sure you are staying up to date with all of our videos. Thank you all so much for watching, and me and Milo here will see you next week for next week's video. Bye.